you don't know me. Maybe if you heard my podcast for the last couple of years, maybe you've heard my voice, but never seen my face. So here's the deal. We're going live with a new talk show next Monday, July 31st at 11 p.m. Central. No, I'm sorry, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central. I'm in the Central time zone. See that city behind me? That's Minneapolis. And we're in North Minneapolis, our office, and believe it or not, that's almost the view out our window. Not quite, but close. Any of you have ever been to Northeast Minneapolis? There's nowhere outside of Brooklyn that's more like Brooklyn than Northeast Minneapolis. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, you probably know that if you've been here before. So our talk show is going to be about a lot of things. First of all, I'm known for my conservative commentary, and that's going to continue. And also, I'm really known for my UFO and paranormal stuff. People call me the king of the conspiracy theorists because I said the UFO stuff was real 30 years ago. I'm not the only one who did, but the fact is we were all right. And here's the deal. I harp on this. People say, how did you know? There's government documents that talk about it. And then people say, well, how come the press doesn't report on that? And my answer to that is, well, that's a really damn good question. The UFO issue reflects on not just extraterrestrials. It revolves around terrestrial politics, about the media. It encompasses all sorts of crap. And that's the reason it's so fascinating to me anyway. I'm not just fascinated in the ETs, although I do find that totally fascinating. Believe me, they're here. People ask me, okay, what do you know? And I've always said this. I like to talk about a lot of things. I'll have people on who talk about the Bigfoot. I'll have people on talk about the ETs and how they talk to them, all this sort of stuff. And I keep an open mind. I only know one real thing. And here's the fact. I know that the U.S. government has in its possession at least 6 and probably 9 or more crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft. I know that's the only fact I know. Now, obviously, if you have crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft, that means you have extraterrestrials. But I don't necessarily go there because, like I said, I'm trying to keep it to what I know. And then people say, well, how do you know that? And like I said, there's numerous government documents that have talked about this for years and years, and the press has never reported on it. It's really, and one of my friends says, well, Jim, the government can't keep a secret that long. Well, they haven't. We're all talking about it. Nobody's listening. That's the problem. So anyway, if you go to the FBI website and go to their vault section, the single most search for document there is there's an FBI memo from some field officers, some special ops in the field, writing back to the Home Office in Washington. And the memo basically says, it's 11 pages long, but it basically says, we've got this crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft and these 3 dead aliens, and what do you want us to do with them? Now, okay, that's on the FBI's website. Now, the FBI has poo-pooed this for years. They're saying, oh, it was just a giant mistake. Oh, it was a big misunderstanding. Bullshit. It was not. You think these guys would have they mistake the 3 dead aliens for a bunch of drunks in a New York City bar? I don't think so. I think they can tell the difference. They're special agents, after all. They're not ordinary agents. Anyway, our show is going to be about a lot of that stuff. So now here's the other thing about our show that's really unique. And I have to thank the people at Talkers Magazine. They actually did an article on this last week. You can look that up. That's talkers.com. We might be the first television talk show in American history to take video phone calls. Yeah, you can call into the show. The show's basically three parts. First part is my monologue. I'm going to go on like I'm here like an idiot. I'll talk for 20, 30 minutes about in my podcast in the past, it was always about conservative news analysts. Now it might be something different. It's not that I don't want to talk about that stuff, but I do want to branch out into more things. I'm just basically an obsessive human being. I'm interested in like everything. So we'll talk about more than just that. But my monologue will often be about news of the day from a conservative perspective. Second, we have a guest on. Guests can be about anything. I know a lot of people who work at the Epoch Times. They've been on my show. Numerous people at Hot Air. You got your conservative commentators. You got your UFO writers. Hi, Jay Shaw. I'm talking about you. People who write about UFOs. and all sorts of people in between, and also a lot and that don't even have any necessary thing to do with those two things. They're going to be on too. Finally, the third part of the show, we're going to take your video phone calls. Now you look down here on the screen right here. There's a URL address, jimattknight.com/call. This is the way this works. You go to that URL and you click a button and you're stuck in a green room. You end up in the queue. You get to very quickly check your camera and microphone. There's a little preview monitor there and stuff. Put your name in and that sort of thing, and you end up in the calling queue. And then I put you on the air when your time comes. You're in the calling queue in the order we get the phone calls. No one's ever, believe it or not, no one's ever done this before. Now, it's only been relatively recently that you can do it. I mean, we use common software. Everybody. Like I said in the article in Talkers, there's 100 people doing what I'm doing on Twitch every night. There is. But they're pretty much talking to people they know. They're talking to their friends. It's only been relatively recently that we could post a URL and you could do this entirely through a browser. And speaking of that, the only real caveat to this, and this is explained on that page at jimattknight.com/call, you have to use the Google Chrome web browser. That's the only thing on whatever device you're on, except if you're on an iPhone or iPad, then you use the Safari browser built into your iPhone. And yeah, you can call from your phone. You get to see your little pretty face. It's very nice. You can talk to us. It's wonderful. This is going to be really interesting, a really interesting experience. Like I said, as far as we can tell, as far as the people Talker Magazine could tell, and they should know because they've been in the business forever, no one's ever done this before. So we're gonna try this, and we'll be the first, and we'll see what happens. You can't show me your junk on the air because it's not because that I want to find it entertaining, or even we don't have to worry about the FCC rules here. But most of the networks will kill us, ban us, or we do that too often. So there's a caveat there too. We're going live on 8 networks on Monday, 8 social networks. There's a list at jimattknight.com. It was going to be 9. Actually, no, it is 9. It was going to be 10, except basically we've given up on OnlyFans. We couldn't get verified there. And, I don't know if I wanted to be part of that anyway. So, I mean, we're pretty much, we're canning that one. The other thing is you can listen to the show. There's one place you can listen audio only, and that's at Podbean Live on their app, on their website too. We're in the live shows. They are only one of 2 podcasters that allow live broadcasting. So, although I got to admit, I don't know why you'd want to. I mean, we're almost doing this because I have a fondness for podcasting. It's like it's nostalgia at this point, because I know if you're in your car, you can dial us up on YouTube and connect the audio to the car radio, and it's the same thing. So I don't even know if it's worth the trouble, but we're doing it. We got that figured out. So at any rate, you'll learn more about me as time goes on, and probably not, because I'm going to keep myself very secretive. I don't like to talk about myself. I know for a guy who's in the talk show business, that's kind of weird, but it's true. I like talking to people. I think I'm a really good interviewer. People seem to like to talk to me. If you listen to my podcast over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of guests on, and I've never had anybody said they had a bad experience. Everybody always wants to come back. So we're lucky in that sense. I got a whole stable of people that I'm calling on to come on again. The first week, July 31st, and you also notice something too here too. There's no script here, folks. No, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I do 90 minutes off the top of my head, maybe a little outline. That's about it, but not for this. This is a short little preview thing. Starting on the 31st, and that week through August 4th, we probably aren't going to have any guests. I just don't think it's fair to have to ask people to come on when we don't know what the viewership's going to be. So it's probably just going to be a 2-part show. I'm going to talk to you like this, and then we're not taking calls tonight, but and then you can call in, and we'll see what happens. We'll play with that for a few days. Starting on August 7th, we're going to have to start to have guests on. I think I know who the first guest is going to be, but I'm not going to announce it yet because it hasn't been confirmed. So anyway, hope you like this. It's way better than watching Fox News at night. Way better. We actually moved the time. I got to admit, we're going to start at 10 p.m. Eastern, but we moved the time because Gutfeld changed the time of the show. And so I don't want to compete with that because God knows the rest of those Colbert can't. So he has a budget of $1 bazillion. This is kind of what you call low budget. I got some lights here. I got a nice green screen background. I got that. I brush my teeth. there you go. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you for listening to this. So this is going to be posted. The way this is going to work, we're going to do every show live at 11 p.m. Eastern, and then they're immediately posted on all 8 of these platforms as archive shows, so you can watch them on demand too. And even Podbean, the audio will be posted as an audio only podcast too. So anyway, I'm hoping you enjoy this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm Jim Peters, and this is Jim Peters at Night. We'll see you next Monday.